Vous avez,
How do we start? Am I supposed to say something about Kundalini?
Yes, Sri Mataji, they would like to,
Huh?
by your voice, something about.
You have told them already?
Yes, I explained already.
I think they can ask me questions if you have already told them they know the subject.
Si vous connaissez déjà le sujet, posez des questions si vous voulez.
well, it's a little early. I think I should like to hear you first.
Pardon?
They would like to hear you.
Yes,
Hear me?
to explain something about what we're going to do here.
They'd like to know what you're going to do here as well.
I see. I don't know what he has told you, but I have come here to tell you about something that may be good for all our problems in the West. The Western mind has grown just like a tree has grown outside. Without going into the roots. So the outgrown tree has to know about the roots. And thus we are waiting for a shock. Recently I have been to America, and I feel that the danger to America is not from outside but from inside. They have been indulging into things without knowing what relationship it has to the whole. So the need of today is to know why we have these maladies. Where are we going? I have been searching within human beings the problem in a different way. Inside them. I did my medicine and just to talk to doctors, and through meditative methods, penetrating, I tried to find out why human beings are diverted from reality. There are two categories of human beings actually. Only two. One category who has human awareness. And the other category is a special category, I call it, who can be called as people who are realized souls.
Est-ce que vous voulez que je traduise en français?
They all understand English.
They all understand
That's good.
English.
This is a special category which is mentioned in all the religions, by all the prophets. Everyone has talked about this state. Tao, Zen, Buddha, Mahavira, Christ, of course, everyone has talked about it. What is gone wrong with religions is that they have not tried to find out their spirit, the essence of it. They lost the point. Now supposing if there is something called a spiritual awareness or a super awareness, supposing, take a hypothesis, you have to keep your mind open as scientist. If what I am saying, if I can prove it to you, then you accept it. But don't keep your mind closed. Even scientists are very much conditioned by science. Science is a mental projection. It's just a mental projection. And whatever is in the nature, that's what they discover. They cannot create even a stone. We cannot create even a stone. We must accept. We can analyze. We can find out whatever is in the nature. But it's just a mental projection, which is limited and which is linear. Because of its linear movement, it recoils back upon us. It cannot sustain itself. So science has produced atom bomb and we are frightened of it. Now computer will produce another problem. One after another, we'll have problems after problems. Machines have produced problems. We have acid rains. The development, the whole economic development ends up into a problem. Plastic has produced problems for us. Because it is not related to reality. Even when Confucius talked of humanism, it was needed at that time when people were lethargic. But the way people have developed themselves now, without any relationship to reality or to the whole, we have become malignant in a way, in for trouble. And the trouble is, we are not aware till it blasts off. Without the transformation of human beings from within, not only talking about it, what we need is a transformation in our awareness. So we have to see with open mind if it is feasible, if it exists, with open mind. I think all thinking people should try to see if there is possibility or not. If so, then we think positively about it. If so, how do we achieve it? It's a natural process within us, built in. a living process by which we have become human beings from amoeba stage. And the second stage, whatever, if it is so, again I keep it as a hypothesis, it has to happen naturally, has to happen spontaneously. But in the human stage it is little different from the animal stage. A fish came out of the sea, one fish. Then 10 followed, then hundreds, and then shells of fishes followed. But human beings not easy, because they have freedom to decide. They have freedom. And their freedom is to be respected if they have to have ultimate freedom. Very difficult for human beings to accept that anybody can tell them about it. Very difficult. That's why they crucified Christ, poisoned Muhammad, tortured Buddha, Mahavira. They cannot accept. When I was born, I tried to really understand human beings and this big problem that they have. So I thought no use talking about it. Best thing is, those who are born on the ground are to be elevated at least on the second or third story, so they know there's something beyond. That's the best way one can manage. But the problem was that here what you see is the 7 centers within us, the subtle center, was not open. It was to be opened. Where you get your baptism, actualized. Not artificial baptism. It's a real baptism. Okay? So when that happened, I could manage the awakening of this dormant energy within us, which is actually, whatever I am saying, you should not take it for granted. I am again saying with open mind. It's the knowledge of the roots. This is the power which expresses the reflection of the Holy Ghost within us. Christ was given hardly 3.5 years to talk. There's no time for Christ to tell all these things. And they crucified him. For 4 years I was struggling with 7 British hippies. Couldn't do anything with them. Because first of all, they do not have the tradition of seeking. They have no tradition. They have a desire but no tradition. They don't understand what to seek, what to achieve. There's no tradition at all. Because the tradition is to grow outside, not inside, inward. And this is like a primule in a seed, which is to be awakened, which awakens and pierces through your fontanelle bone area, and you can feel the cool breeze coming out of your head. You do feel it. It's an experience. It may happen, may not happen, it cannot be guaranteed, but it happened to so many in Europe, I should say, so many in America. For India, it's in thousands. in thousands, because they have the tradition. And it will work very fast in India, I know that. Very easy to work it out there. People are not that materialistic. I mean, here when I come in the West, people say, but there is poverty. We don't think we are poor. I don't know what makes people think we are poor. Which way? We are much more generous than any other country people are. Very generous people. You go to an ordinary Indian, he would love to look after. We are very happy, joyous, festive people. Here I find everybody so miserable, les miserables. They are satisfied people. What is in matter? Do you think you can get joy out of this matter? All right, little bit we need for comfort. We can sit on the ground in India. We don't have such a bad weather that all the time you have to cover yourself. We can live under a tree. And there's no poverty of the heart. Others are more concerned about our poverty. And also they don't want to think why we are poor, because we were aggressed for 300 years. We were lynched for 300 years, you can imagine. And also left all the funny things of materialism, like, you'll be amazed that in my father's house I had never known locking the houses or theft or bribery, we never knew. All this was left behind by the British. So we are still suffering the pangs, you see, of that slavery. But the Indians, as they live in the villages, these are the unknown Indians. They are very different. Because materialism without relationship to the spirit can be very dangerous. We see that. We see that. Now you know there are diseases coming up in America. And when I went there, they said to me, we have right to destroy ourselves. What do you say to that? Then I said, all right, go ahead with it. The positive attitude towards life, if it is lost through materialism, is better not to have it. The attitude should be positive, constructive. There's no love, there's no compassion, there's no heart in the life. People are so frustrated, disgusted, unhappy. Actually, I never had in my mind to come to the West, but my husband got elected to this job. Why? 134 nations elected him, and I was forced to come to London. So that's how I'm here. And I see it, I feel that there are great saints born in this country, great people. Great seekers. You see, those people who are taking now drugs and all that are seekers. You must know they are seekers. Very beautiful people they are in heart. Very nice people. They are to be saved. It has to be done. In Sahaja Yoga, when it happens, you'll be surprised. Overnight, people have given up drugs. Overnight. Overnight. People have been cured of incurable diseases like cancer, so many diseases. But AIDS, we have cured AIDS. You'll be surprised. But it is not that we should say that I have cured, but this energy which is residual within you, when it awakens, it nourishes you. By that nourishment, you just get cured physically. Mentally you get peaceful. And it is not just talk, it's actualization, it's becoming. That's what every human being can become. A little breakthrough is needed, that's all. Every human being can become that. Now see, our political systems are fighting for nothing at all. It's all mental, I think. Like we say, somebody is a capitalist, a communist, and this and that. It's not reality. I would say I am the greatest capitalist, I feel, because I know everything about it, I have all the powers. And I am the greatest communist because I must share it. Everything integrates once you become the spirit. Everything. All these theories which have failed, which we think look like just words, become reality when you become the spirit. But one must turn one's attention to it. It's very difficult to break, because all our attention is involved into all useless things which are fruitless, joyless pursuits. It's very difficult to turn. I mean, especially with journalism, I find in the West, is brought up in a very different manner. I mean, if Brussels journalists could do some justice to me, I'll be thankful. But I must say, the countries of tradition, like Italy, has come wrong because they're traditional. They understand serenity, they understand auspiciousness, they understand also holiness, sacredness, still, surprisingly. And I'm sure one day everybody will pay some attention to it. And you can't pay for it. You see, you have gurus here, this kind of a thing, that kind of thing, where people make money, lynch others. You cannot do these things. This is so spontaneous, it's your own. This is what you have to get. And for that, you cannot be obliged to anyone. It is just your own. Like one light which is enlightened, if it enlightens another candle, it doesn't oblige it. It's just ready, gets it. It's all. There's no obligation, nothing. And Muhammad Sahib has specially said about it. I must say, I don't know what the Muslims are doing. I mean, they are all one better than the other, all these fundamentalists. Better not deal with them. But he himself has said, at the time of resurrection, your hands will speak. He has spoken more about resurrection than about doomsday. But they want to talk about doomsday because they can frighten people, you see, and develop their fundamentalism. Not only Muslims, everybody is like that. If nobody has done justice to their leaders, or to their prophets, or to their incarnations, nobody has done. They have nothing to do with them. Christ himself has said, you will be calling me Christ, Christ, I won't recognize. He's clearly said, you have to be born again. So they certify themselves. I am born again, I am baptized. You cannot certify like that. You have to be. To be honest, one has to be. A dog cannot certify itself that I am a human being, can he? Supposing he certifies, does he become? He has to become. Now you ask me questions because, you see, the thing is, the subject matter is so big, and I have dealt in thousands and thousands lectures and things. So the best thing would be to ask questions about this, will be good idea.
Yes, how did you discover the existence of this energy?
You see, that I discovered because I have certain methods of doing it. They say, supposing somebody is a scientist and you are not a scientist, so how can the scientist tell you how did I discover it? But I told you in a way that I know how to do it. I can know the inside of human beings somehow. But I have that within me. What can I do if I have? All right?
What is the difference between what you are telling us and what all the yogis of the tradition were telling? Because
No,
that
this-
scheme appears in all books about yoga. So,
No, the books that you all have read are not traditional. None of them are traditional. You see, about 100 years back, some new stuff came in. I'm amazed at them, I tell you. And because you see, Western mind is extrovert, and extrovert mind always likes new things, anything new. See, you tell them you put a tin on your head, they'll put it. You tell them you make your hair like this, they'll make it. I mean, it's something new all the time they go to. Whatever you know about the traditional yoga is not. If you read Patanjali, it's very different from what you do in yoga. He never talked of all these asanas you do to that extent. Actually, it is very recent, I would not even say 100 years. The one fellow went to Himalayas and was discarded by all the realized souls there. He came down and he started writing about these asanas actually. It is all related to your chakras. We too use asanas. But how? When the Kundalini rises, we know on what center it stops. Then we know how to correct that center. Supposing it is a physical problem, then you have to do a particular asana. But supposing you have problem in the stomach and you do the asana for some other chakra, what's the use? It's a science. If you read Patanjali, the whole book is like this, in Sanskrit language. It's not translated, I think, in English, the whole of it. Not at all. And this one was long time back. 14,000 years back, they mentioned Kundalini. 16,000, I would say. Markandeya was 16,000 years back, they mentioned Kundalini. Kundalini is the basis. But about 100 years back, people started talking about all kind of nonsense. Even in India, westernized Indians are impressed by this kind of thing. I went to Pune and I was surprised. People were having paralysis, this, that. I said, how is it you've got all these problems? Oh, our guru has taught us all this. What is your guru? What did he tell you? They gave me names like Shaktipat, Arunopay, this, that. I said, I've never heard of. Where did you learn this thing? They gave me one book, which was written only 70 years back by some crazy fellow, which is not mentioned anywhere in the thing. I mean, if you read even Adi Shankaracharya, he's talked about it, Chaitanya Larina, but that's 6th century. Kabira, now Kabira is much later. Nanaka, throughout. But how people can change it into something funny. See, like the Greeks changed all the gods into something stupid. Like Kabira talked of this as a Surati. It called is a Surati. This Kundalini as Surati. Kabira called. But do you know where he was born? In Bihar. They called tobacco as Surati. Now what do you say to that? Christ has talked about it. Even Bible. I will appear before you like tongues of flames. He has said about the tree of fire. This is the same thing. But according to time, people have talked. This was a secret knowledge for quite some time in India. But it became quite eloquent. I think at the time of Adi Shankaracharya to begin with, but Kabira and Nanaka have already said it clearly. What about the Sikhs? Do they know anything about it? It's all, they read from one page to another in 2.5 hours, the whole thing they can read. But they miss all the points. You see, reading is not the way to know it. It has to happen. Like, supposing you have headache and I say you take Anasin. Now you go on reading, I take Anasin, will it work out? So the knowledge that you have got about yoga books is only about 100 years old, which I don't know from where it has come. When I read it, I'm amazed. And I've read seen such a thick book written on Kundalini that the Kundalini is in the stomach. It is not. You can see at the time, sometimes, in some people, when the center of Nabi or the center of the solar plexus is under pressure, you can see even the pulsation of the Kundalini very clearly on this triangular bone, very clearly. But I would say even the Greeks knew about it because they call this bone as sacrum. Sacrum meaning sacred. They knew about it. Definitely. Otherwise, why did they call this bone sacrum? Athena itself, the Atha means primordial. And Athena is the one stands with a snake-like thing in her hand and with all the centers showing in her hand. If you see I have been to Greece, I know. But all that was sort of, brought down to some sort of a level which I don't know, understand. What should I call it? We call it supraconscious level. Something on the right-hand side movement. Or the left side movement, as we call it, the subconscious or the collective subconscious. Because they could not move higher, they started giving supraconscious experiences and the collective subconscious experiences, which are very dangerous, very dangerous. Like parapsychology now. How to convince them it is a collective subconscious entry, which is very dangerous. That cancer is triggered by that. How to tell them? By entering into the collective subconscious. You'll be amazed. These people are such closed about things. There were 4 great scientists came to India to talk to me from America. And they wanted to become, I don't know what. They said, we want to have that consciousness by which you become subtle, you can go to moon, you can go to sun. I said, why? You are already flying in the air, why do you want to become that? They said, no, we want to become subtle personalities to go into there to do this. I said, but why? They said, because Russians are doing it. I said, they are doing wrong. They'll all suffer and you will also suffer. I said, who told you this? He gave a name of a journalist in India called Patanjali. I said, I'm amazed at Patanjali himself because he was suffering from this kind of a disease. And his wife came to me and I cured him. Now do you want me to put the disease into you? It's very dangerous to play about with the subconscious and the collective subconscious or supraconscious or the collective supraconscious. You are lost, you don't know what you are doing. That's what some of these false and fake gurus and all these people who are very powerful here are using. It's mesmerism, ESP, all this is the same. Thank God now we have published a book in French, which you can see yourself and read. Yes?
Difference between what you are doing and certain other Eastern religions in the West is that you don't ask money for
No,
the
no, no.
knowledge.
How can you pay money? How can you pay money for... Now say, I'm saying it's a living process. Let's be wise about it. Now, if it is the Mother Earth, she's sprouting a seed. Do we pay anything to the Mother Earth? Do we? And be wise about it. How can you pay for it? It is invaluable. How much did we pay to become human beings from monkey stage? Did we pay? Let's take it that way. I mean, I'm asking you a simple question. It's a living process. How can you pay for it? At the most, you can pay for my ticket to the for the aeroplane. At the most, I mean, if you have to pay anything, what can you pay?
You have to live anyway.
Beg pardon?
You have to live.
But luckily, this time, I'm born in a rich family. I come from a royal family in India which has a calendar. And also my husband is quite well off and a generous man. And he believes that that's the only way it can work out. He believes in Sahaja Yoga. He's a great sustenance for me. I live all right. And you will also live all right. For this you don't have to pay. Krishna has said, Yoga Kshema Vahamyam. When you get yoga, real union, he looks after your well-being. Every physical, mental, emotional, even material. Because you become such a satisfied soul also. Now, as you see me, I come from a rich family, so-called. We can say my husband is rich. I mean, my house in London could be called as a mini palace sort of a place, maybe. Well, I can live anywhere. I can live on the street. I can live in the jungles. This body of mine is very good. It doesn't trouble me at all. It's comfortable anywhere. I'm not bothered what I eat, what I do. Not bothered. Comfort is another slavery. And those who sit on the chair cannot sit on the ground. The chair becomes on our head. The more we try to be comfortable, the worse it is. But the body can be your slave. I mean, it is for you. You are not for the body.
Yeah, but certain others, like let's say Bhagwan, they do ask money.
Baba, don't bring these controversial people. It is, how can it be? Just tell me. How can it? They ask, let them ask what to do, whether they will go with. It's all wrong. You are people so naive. Why do you give them? You are so naive. Like one fellow came to London and he said, if you give me the 59th Rolls Royce, then I'll come. Can you imagine? 9th Rolls Royce. So the poor boys, so sweet of them, but stupid also, starved themselves for 1 year, bought a Rolls Royce for him when this great man came in. And the big journalist of London, and everybody was there to take photograph of the Rolls Royce. And when some of the Sahjogis approached them, they said, why do you want to give him a Rolls Royce? He said, what? Rolls Royce is a metal. We are giving him the metal, he gives us the spirit. How can you convert metal into spirit? Can you? You are intelligent people, you have to tell them that it is not possible to convert metal into. That's why they are very angry with me, all of them. You see, after all, are all very against me. But what to do? Yes, please.
If you want people to free themselves and to realize themselves, what are the means then? What are the exercises, like in the tradition of yoga, pranayama and so on?
No. You see, there is no exercise. It is effortless. Sahaja. Saha means with. Saha means with. Ja means born. Is born with you. No, nothing has to be done. The realization goes into first the step of awakening, where the Kundalini herself comes up. Right. Now the advantage of this is, like a lamp which is dirty, or something wrong with the lamp, if you put a little light in it, it can see for itself what's wrong with me, right? So you start cleansing yourself. Like you become your own guru, you become your own master. But first little light must come. That's important. That's the only job I do. The rest of it you look after. You have to become your own guru. It's not only I. Supposing you get it and you master it, then you can do it. We have one gentleman in India, he's just a farmer, has given realization to 10,000 people. Well, here is Dr. Warren. I don't know how many people he has given realization to, I don't keep count of it, because we have no organization as such. We have no membership, nothing of that kind. We don't have any organization as such. We have another doctor here today.
But you have centers in different...
Yes, centers we have. But it's not like the centers that others have. Actually, these people, when they are living in a place, they pay the rent of the place. They manage. I don't know how they live. They share among themselves the rent as well as the food, and that they call as the center. They become so collective. You should see the joy that flows between them. A person going from here to India, and in India the people waiting for him to come, as Sahaja Yoga is coming. The whole world becomes your family.
Why don't you call it an ashram?
What, beg pardon?
Why don't you call it an ashram?
Why don't you call it an ashram? There's these centers.
No, we do call also. Ashram also we call it. We call it ashram also. We call it ashram. Also centers. If it's a small place where only people can come visit, then it's a center. So whatever you may call, that makes no difference. We have ashrams everywhere. Except here now we don't have, but hope to establish one. Here we have just a center. We have ashram in Italy. Where else? We have ashram in Austria, very good ashram. We have very good one in Switzerland. In England we have 5 of them. France we have a very nice ashram. It's not just a lip service, it's an actualization.
It's not only a service.
Lip service, just talking about it. It's nothing theory, it's just actualization. Because you are that. I mean, it's nothing difficult. You are all that. Just you have to have what you have. That's all. You have to be aware of it, that's all. It's so simple. That's why people don't like it. You see, if you tell them you can eat like this, no, they don't want to eat. They want to eat this way, that way, that way. What can we do about it? It's very simple. Has to be. Because it is so vital. Like our breathing. Supposing for our breathing, if you have to read a yoga and go to a guru, pay him £1,000, how many will exist? It's so vital. And the time has come. This is the time. The time is all mentioned thousands of years back. If you heard about Phrigu Muni, he has written a complete book called as Nadi Granth about these times. Everything described, Sahaja Yoga, everything. Even 100 years back, I would say, William Blake has described everything about Sahaja Yoga. Everything. But people called him crazy. They like people like Byron, all imaginary people. Yes, yes.
William Blake was a poet and a poetical mystic. Are you a mystic as well?
I don't know what to call myself. It's very difficult.
you know what mysticism is.
I know. You can call me everything, I think. It's quite a integration of so many things I have. But I would like to call myself as the mother. That's the sweetest and the best, I think. Because I'm very patient. Perhaps. And extremely forgiving.
And how does the mother bring the light to other people?
It's a rebirth.
It's
And rebirth.
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 Rebirth. And a birth is given by the mother only. Father can't give the birth. It's an immaculate rebirth.
Yeah, but once this rebirth has taken place, you have to mind your way of living, so no alcohol, no drugs.
No, I don't tell anything like that before that. But you just give up yourself. I don't say it.
No?
You just give up yourself. Whatever is not good for you, just give up. Because you become joy. You start feeling the cool breeze of the Holy Ghost. This gives you vibrations. And you don't want to do anything like that. Now, for example, if you ask me to take 2 drugs, I will not. I mean, I'm never tempted for alcohol or any, I'm never tempted to anything. I just don't get tempted to anything. You just don't do it yourself, because if you are the spirit, you are so detached. If you become the spirit, you become the glory of the spirit. You have the powers of the spirit. You become such a great personality yourself. You just don't do it. I don't have to tell you. I don't force anything whatsoever. You become yourself, that's only. When you become yourself, you are great, no doubt about it. It's a very revolutionary time. Yeah, very revolutionary. You should see the signs of revolution is, we never had so many seekers, we never had so many confusions, so many problems. And in that confusion only, the lotus of your spirit is going to shine. We say in Sanskrit that only in the mud and mire of confusion the lotus is born. It cannot be money-making proposition. I mean, that you must have understood now. It cannot be. And it has to be effortless. And you get empowered by it. You see, if you say, I am twice born, all right, you certify. But what is your power? If you are twice born, what do you know? You actually become, again I say become, is very important. That on your central nervous system you can feel another person. On your fingertips, you can feel the centers of another person and your own. Now, only thing what you have to know how to get it corrected. That's all. If you know the method, it's finished. Hardly you take a month at the most to know about it.
Is it not what you explain to people? For instance, tonight in Brussels?
Yes, I decode things. You see, for example, now supposing this center is catching, this center is catching, supposing you're feeling the burning on these centers, then what does it mean? I'm just decoding it. And then they verify it. And it's a fact. It works out. We are a real computer, I tell you. Only we have to be put to the mains. We are the masters of all the computers. We have created computers. But we become the divine computers. And there is divine all-pervading power, which does all living work, like these flowers becoming fruits. We cannot do even one. And when that starts flowing through us, we must only know how to maneuver it. We are to be put to the mains, that's the point is. And this Kundalini acts like a cord. It is there in all of us. First it was just people told about it, talked about it, and one or two flowers on the tree of life, I should say. It was a secret also. But now, blossom time. So many flowers have to become fruits. Real blossom time, I tell you. Beautiful people we have in this world. They are unknown, but they are beautiful people. Sinister people are very few actually, those who have made our lives miserable. But we can outwit them once we get aware of ourselves. We can outwit all of them. Nobody can touch us. And there is divine power. And such blessings you can't believe it. The miracles of Sahaja Yoga, you cannot believe it. Today only, when I came in the morning, one of the Sahaja Yogis was standing very close to the car, and the whole of Mercedes went over his foot. And nothing happened to his foot. Nothing. He didn't even get the pain. It's so. It is. God is very great. He's the real charismatic personality you can think of. You can't imagine how great he is. Just we have to know him. But when you talk of God in these modern times, people don't want to hear you. It's not fanaticism, it's not all that nonsense, it's actualization.
You didn't meet the Pope in Italy?
Beg pardon?
You didn't meet the Pope in Italy. What do you think of him?
They are just the same. Actually, I met Pope much earlier. That you did not write, I'm just telling you. When I went to Poland, I went on the 1st of September to Poland. About just before he became the Pope, I don't remember the year. And because my husband is a VIP and all that, they asked me would you like to go. So I said I would like to see a good church and an organ. So they said they took me to Krakow while my husband went for his own work. And there it was. This gentleman was a cardinal. I raised his Kundalini, all right. But I didn't tell him because, he won't take it from me, anything. It did pierce, no doubt. It did pierce. He comes up sometime, but again he goes down. I'm sorry, but that's what it is. So to become a pope is very easy. Very easy, to become a pope, what is so great? You can be elected, human-made. It's a man-made stuff. But God-made, you have to little bit work it out. That's what is not has happened in his case. I wish. Sometimes he does give vibrations, again it stops, again he has to work it out. I went to Krakow, but it was so historical, I should say, because it was 1st of September and I was very sad. And my husband said, why are you so sad? I said, this country must be very sad on this day sometime. And then we discovered it was the first day when it was bombed. Warsaw was bombed. And 8th of September is the day they celebrate the Black Mary's birthday. And they take out the image of Black Mary. Before that I met. And then I saw all that. It's very historical, I should say. But who can talk to him? They wrote a letter to him, and he's protected, and you see, you can't talk to him like this, can you? All that kind of a thing I don't need. Christ never had that kind of a protocol, this, that. It's something different world they live in. You just, what can I do? Will they listen to me? Will they recognize Christ? If Christ comes in, will he recognize Christ? How will he recognize? Pope even. How will he recognize? Can he? Is there any measure? But I don't want to criticize anyone. That's one thing I would like to say. No controversies, please. But this is what it is when you asked me the question, I have to say this. Everybody is capable of becoming the self, but must know that by becoming something like a king or a pope or a guru, you are not there. You have to become. These are all appointments by human beings, not by God. All these are appointments by God. Here you have Pope. In India we have Shankaracharyas. In Zen system also I met the head of the Zen. I was amazed. His Kundalini was frozen there. I didn't know what to say to him. So I said, sir, are you not a Kashyapa? He said, no, we never had them for the last 6 centuries. I said, you never had they call it Kashyap. Never had a Kashyapa 6 centuries, so what are you doing, Zen? Zen you cannot do without realization. Everybody is doing all these things without realization. Imagine we are telephoning without connection. It's like that. Very difficult, because we are so conditioned by them. In India also same thing. We are so conditioned by this so-called Hindu religion. Everybody is conditioned. And everybody's religion is in danger. I don't understand how can religion be in danger. It cannot be destroyed. Only thing is, according to the time when they came, on the different times, they were like flowers on the same tree, living tree, same. But at different times, according to the times, they preached. Whatever was the problem at that time, they had to face it. You see? Today is the problem of evolution. Whatever they said, people took out these flowers. This is mine. This is mine. These are all dead flowers. We are fighting with it. You can't blame anyone. Maybe some are very gross, we can say. Like Shiites, we can call them gross. I was born in a Protestant religion, and I thought they are the most sophisticated fanatics ever known. Very sophisticated. Extremely sophisticated are the Protestants. You cannot catch them. They will have Red Cross, everything, all humanitarian. That's not God's job. That's not God's job. Missionary job is not God's. It's human job. You have created problems, you have created poverty, all right, you look after it. God's job, you see, is silent. It doesn't talk. Like say, I'm sitting before you. All right. I don't do anything. Am I doing anything? I'm just talking to you. Don't know what I'm doing to you. It just flows. It just acts. It works. We have seen in the life of Christ, somebody touched the cloth of Christ and the energy flew. And he didn't have any missionaries, did he? And imagine the missionaries came to India with a gun in the one hand and the Bible in the another. And do you know who Christ was? All described in the books. In our books as Mahavishnu is described very well, clearly who he is. But Indians could not relate him to that because with a gun they never said. They said he is a very Saumya, he is the one who is very mild. And these people came with a gun and Bible, they could not place him there. I don't blame that way Indians because you see, you can't expect Christ to come with a gun. Not only gun, but some Portuguese took cannons to blast the temples. They have blasted our temples with cannons, can you believe it? Must be crazy people. Thank God, one thing good has happened. Columbus did not go to India. If he had gone, all of us would have been finished by now, like Red Indians were. I tell you, thank God, he didn't come there. Like if you go to Argentina, you won't find one Red Indian. I went to Chile, not one Red Indian. Can you imagine what these people are doing? People are not aware what they are doing, what they have done. And if you see the massacre in Spain, I am coming from Spain, and when I knew about it, the way people, this Inquisition they had for religion. How can you have Inquisition? Christ was crucified himself. What are the basis? How can you do such things? If you read the history, you'll be shocked. I mean, I was shocked the way they showed the Inquisition there. Actually, I was not aware of it. We have to see what we have done. In the name of God, in the name of compassion, in the name of love, what we have done. They are trying to save now animals. For example, chickens they try to save. What's the use of saving the chickens? We have to save the human being. I can't give realization to chickens, can I? You see, political reform or anything you try to do is not going to help you. If you think democracy has worked very well, I must say it's not true. I have seen Russia, I have seen China, I have seen also democracy. Everything is about the same, nothing to choose. I assure you, by changing the forms of government, nothing is going to happen, but the changing the forms of human being only will achieve that kingdom of God which is promised to us. We have to get out of it. Our forefathers have done it, their forefathers have done it. Where have we reached? Nowhere. There is no peace in the world unless and until we have peace within ourselves. especially for Brussels when I came. I must say about Brussels. I must say people are very hectic here, extremely hectic. Because I could feel it within myself, you see, there's a center which goes wobbly when the place is hectic. Extremely hectic, speedy, frustrated people. And this center was doing like this, and for 3 hours I was trying to cleanse it. I was trying to put it right. Just going on like that. I was worried that when I face you people, I hope it doesn't go into another wobbly condition. Very wobbly. People are very wobbly, we must understand. Extremely hectic. Now, in a person who has got blood cancer, you have this problem. The center goes off like that. Blood cancer people. Because the spleen, which is the speedometer, you see, becomes crazy. And it starts wobbling, start producing blood cells of that kind. Of course, it's triggered by something else, but the vulnerability of cancer is like that. And that's what I felt when I came here. I was surprised how people are like that here. No peace. And we have the Europeans, what is it here? Parliament? No.
Common market.
Common market. Imagine in Brussels. We have no peace within. When I come to Brussels, I am Belgian. Because I can feel them. I really felt you all. It's very simple to correct it. Very simple. Only this Kundalini within you is to be risen and everything will be so peaceful. We are so nervous. And if it is our own, why not have it? Supposing this is your property, why not have it? It's your right to have it. It's your own property. You don't have to give anything. Like somebody asked me whether I cannot surrender. I said, what have you got to surrender me? What can you give me? I don't need anything. What you have to surrender is your ego or your conditioning, one of the two. What do you surrender? Is nothing but ego. Only one simple thing we have to know and understand, that still we are not complete. We have not reached our absolute state. We are living on a relative level. We have to become the absolute, finished. Once you realize that much, finished. Just we have to become the absolute. We are living relatively, is our own power. We've got within ourselves, why not have it? For which you cannot pay. Ego, but is a very big problem. Huh? It's a very, very big problem. I must say it's like a balloon. It floats people into the air. Of course, conditioning is also there. In the West, there's big conditioning, especially of feeling guilty. For nothing at all, they feel guilty. In the West, people feel so guilty for, I just don't know why, and they catch on this center, get troubles of the center. This is the biggest conditioning you have, is to feel guilty. For anything, like you see now, in England, supposing you use a fork and a spoon in a different way, they feel guilty. I mean, you yourself have created these norms. Like for alcohol, you'll have this kind of a glass, that kind of a glass, this, that, all nonsense. Now, if you don't have that way, you feel guilty. Well, what is this? I mean, you are very simple people also to feel guilty for all these nonsensical things. If a lady is wearing, say, a sweater or a coat, say, with beige color, she is carrying a white colored purse, she feels guilty. Very seriously guilty, I tell you. This is so frivolous. They are like children sometimes, I feel. Indians will not. They are shameless. I must say, they don't feel guilty. I mean, you should not feel guilty for this. One can feel guilty for wars or things. But even by feeling guilty, what is there? And now, like English feel guilty for what English did before. Why? They are dead and finished now, gone case. You are different. You are not them. Your forefathers are finished now. Forget the past. Now say, simple thing, forget the past. Future doesn't exist. In the present, how can you be guilty? Simple logic. How can you be guilty in the present? Forget is finished. Like that, forget and finished is your past. So how can you be guilty? You have to be in the present. Actually, we must respect ourselves. You are at the epitome of evolution. We don't respect ourselves. We have to love ourselves and respect. We are human beings. We are on top of everything. We are not ego at all. But we are not also conditioned. No questions because you have gone beyond thought. I know that. You won't have. You are feeling the cool breeze. You can feel it. Just feel it. Just now. Try to feel. Madam, you also have the experience. Just 1 minute. You just have the experience. Just put your hands like this. You'll feel it, the cool breeze.
Just open your hands.
Just open your hands. Why not have it? It's free. All right? Not yet. It's there. Do you smoke?
No.
Hot. Hot.
You feeling it?
Are you feeling? He's feeling it. Yeah? What about you? Are you Catholic?
Yes.
Then you feel guilty.
Like a week.
That's one thing Catholics have done. I tell you, Catholics are the greatest guilty people. For nothing at all. If you go to Argentina, you'll be shocked. They walk like this. All the time they are told they are sinners, sinners, sinners. They are not. That's the reason. She's left to shoot, sketching. But you know, it's very dangerous. You get troubles with this, spondylitis, physical. You get also angina to feel guilty. Only there's one chanting for that. I am not guilty. Then it works out. That's the reason it's not rising above this. But it will rise. Are you all right? Are you feeling?
Well,
You're feeling relaxed though.
yes, actually, I don't know what I felt.
Huh.
Might be the air conditioning.
No, you had lots of wrinkles here when I came. Now you go and see, they're all vanished. Yes. Are you all right?
Little bit.
Good? Little bit, yes. That's true. It's very subtle. And we are rising from a gross attention to this subtle attention. All right? And we should be selfish about it. Why be attached to anything? Attached to any ideology, any theory, anything, we should get it. You see, this is what Christ has said. You have to get it. Those who are sitting behind you have got it. They also argued a lot with me, but you did not, I must say. Not at all. They did not. That's something great. Never argued. But religion cannot be organized. One thing you must know, it cannot be organized. Once you start organizing religion, you kill the essence of religion. You cannot. That's the mistake. Thank God in India religion could not be organized. Thank God for that. Wherever they have organized religion, they became fanatics. So much rooted into the conditioning of the religion. Anywhere. I mean, I say everybody is like that. They think no end of themselves. Or they have get ideas sometimes that we are the best. We know the best. We've got everything. That's not true. Anywhere, like Sikhs now. I used to think Sikhs at least are better off. Now look at them. Gone off their heads. Now putting bombs everywhere. Why should anybody who follows any religion should put bombs anywhere? Just tell me, is it relevant? They were also organized in India. Very well organized. We have another one called Arya Samaj. It's another ego-oriented nonsense. Now the people coming out of it, because when they get old, they really become senile and they talk so much. They just go on talking. They don't know what they are talking irrelevantly. They just talk. You cannot be anything. You have to be human being first of all. When we claim I am a Belgian, you are not. You could have been anything. Just by chance you are born here. Or maybe you chose. Doesn't matter. But still you don't become Belgian. You are a human being. You laugh the same way. You smile the same way. Feel the same way. Only you think differently. Maybe. So it is the difference and all that doesn't exist in the mind of God. He doesn't create this world like Belgium, France, this, that. No, He did not. We have done all this. It's difficult because conditioning also is too much. Conditioning of materialism is also here. And no tradition of seeking. This is the biggest problem I feel. No tradition. Every Indian knows that he has to seek his spirit, and he knows what Kundalini is. I mean, if he is not westernized, that's one of the conditions. If he is westernized, he is just like you. Doesn't know anything about it, doesn't want to know. Anyone who is not westernized knows that is the Kundalini awakening that brings forth the realization. We need. I went to Himalayas, Dharamshala. People uneducated absolutely came down, about 3,000 to 4,000 people, just came. And they were told Devi Jagran, the goddess will be awakened within you. They know who is the goddess is. They just came. I gave them lecture. Any problems? No, mother, awaken our goddess. I said, all right, done. And such tremendous vibration, they are not educated. They haven't got all this conditioning on them. Simple village folk. All of them got realization, they knew they have got it. They started singing, dancing, enjoying themselves. Oh, we've got it now, we've got... But they know, despite their, I should say, no exposure to Western thinking or to education as such, they know this. This they know from tradition, from mother. Mother knows from her mother. Like that it comes to them, from generations. That you have to be the spirit. Even Christians should know. And I think they knew. The whole thing got diverted. Now there's a big controversy. You must know Christianity itself in its challenge. Thanks to theologians. You must have heard about Mr. What's his name? Drummond.
Bishop of Durham.
Bishop of Durham. Did you hear about him? No? Oh, you must. That's the latest. Bishop of Durham says there was no immaculate conception according to Paul. There was no this thing. This is what it is. Closed mind and then criticize me. What's the use of adherence to something that is ignorance? Now this Bishop of Durham has attacked Christ's immaculate conception, his divinity, everything he has attacked. And for your information, the Archbishop of Canterbury has supported him. So now whole Catholicism goes to dogs. But they cannot give up Paul also. But to be frank, why Paul is there, I don't understand. Can you explain? Why Paul is in the Bible? He had nothing to do with Christ. Not only I say that, but if you have read Khalil Gibran, he was a realized soul. This Paul is a strange man. He's written a complete chapter on Paul. How is he there? Anybody who is a realized soul will say that. He has nothing to do with God. He doesn't understand God at all. Then came Augustine, same style, maybe the same incarnation. He also ruined it. Now, if you want to know about Catholics, go and ask the Muslims. If you want to know about the Muslims, go and ask Hindus. It's better to know from them. They are all sailing in the same boat, but criticizing others, blaming each other. No use. How will they recognize Christ is the first question one should ask. But when he comes, there will be no Sahaja. Then the last, he'll just sort you out. That's all. The judgment is now. We'll just sort you out. There will be no question. And Michelangelo has clearly shown it. If you should see the Sistine Chapel, very clearly. He's just standing there throwing people this side and that side. That's the Agya Chakra where he stands. Just throwing out. He doesn't do anything of the kind. He has no patience. That's what it is. And that's coming very soon.
Yes, but can you explain why the time is now, right now?
You see, the time has to arrive according to your awareness. See? And the awareness today is that of that level. So it has come. It's like supposing you are learning to balance a cycle. Now when do you balance the cycle? When you balance it. It is just like that. When you balance the cycle, then you get it, isn't it? So now you are in that situation. So it is going to work out. It's the season, I would say. Now supposing you want to have, in those days, tulips, you can't have, isn't it? Now the time, the season is such. And imagine, with Christ, do you think so many people would sit down and listen to it? No, very difficult. Now we have sensible people, wiser people. Nobody is going to crucify me now. Do you think anybody can crucify me? No, cannot. I mean, maybe journalists may, little bit. All right, thank you very much. I'm very kind of you. You have given me a very patient hearing. I'm sorry for the Catholic lady, she didn't like me much, you see. But you should not be biased. If you are a journalist, you have to be a witness, a detached witness. Then only you can help people. But if you are biased, then it cannot work out. So I've seen journalists are either biased or they want some sort of a sensation to be. Now this is I'm taking away from that sensationalization. I'm giving you a news by which everything will smooth out, will be better. And there will be a journalism, but of a divine nature. We have journalism also in Sahaja Yoga, but then we talk of the miracles, then talk of the savings, we talk of the good things that have happened. We have our newsletters and all that. But it's a very different time. Another world. We have some journalists with us. Done now?
No, I thought there was another question.
I think he's gone beyond questioning.
I'm lost.
All right.
Sorry about that.
So thank you very
Why
much.
don't you come along tonight and hear the
Yes,
whole
try.
system? Hear about how it works and get the
If you can
experience.
come along, that's the best way, you see. Best way. There's no challenge for it. Nothing. No challenge. But it's something very, really, to be very frank, is very new for you. Not for Indians, but for you people it's new. Better come and have a look. Maybe I might be making money also, possibly. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Can I shake hands with you? Thank you very much. Good night. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Very nice. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Pour ceux qui désirent, il y a un bouquin qui vient de
This is the book.
sortir
Ah.
en français. Il s'appelle
Have you
L'Avènement.
got some copies of that?
Ah, non, c'est ça, je vais-
We'll send it over.
Tonight at the program.
Tonight at the program, you can have it. Should we go now? Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you.